Going on, everybody, and welcome back to Make Your Own Luck Mondays. And again, this is a web series that I've been doing here on YouTube where I take topics around personal finance and wealth creation and investing and different things like that, try to break them down and make them just super easy to understand. And today's topic, we're going to talk a little bit about really just wasting money and kind of the top 5 reasons that I see people wasting money kind of on a daily basis, I guess. But it's interesting because I kind of caveat this video if you are debt free and you make a really good living and you want to treat yourself to certain things, then by all means go for it. But if you're somebody who seems to not be able to get ahead, you're constantly worried about cash, you don't have any money in the bank, and you're doing these things, maybe there's a few things here on this video where if you took them out of your life, you could maybe have a little bit more money on hand to help you out. So I was going to bring up just kind of the top 5 topics, and then there's a couple of add-ons as well, just as honorable mentions, I guess. So number 1 would absolutely be eating out, delivery service, getting coffees, things like that. When you think about getting Starbucks every single day, that's a couple grand a year, and I see this by a lot of people that don't even have a couple $1,000s in savings, but yet they will go out and get that coffee every single day, and it's pretty crazy. And then eating out, that one has actually been, for myself, has been crazy because since COVID and all that other stuff, we stopped going out, so we started making dinners at home, lunches at home, all this stuff, and it saved a ton of money. So the other one that's weird that I see with that is people that will, go out and buy all this food and then throw half of it away. So you got to actually learn how to cook the food and make it last and do all that stuff too. So it's not just a feel-good purchase to go out and buy all these fruits and vegetables and then throw half of them out at the middle of the week or the end of the week. So going out, eating out, all that stuff, you definitely, huge waste of money, and absolutely can be avoided, which is awesome. It can be avoided by anybody. And number 2 would be bars, drinking, going out, taking Ubers, all smoking, all that stuff. Just I kind of like partying as it's in its whole. And there's a lot around that, whether it be, social stuff, people being like, oh, well, this is where I meet up with my friends and this is what I do. And I don't know what I would do with my time if I didn't go out to the bars and all that. And it's basically just all horse shit. It's a waste of time. It's a complete waste of money. I know firsthand because I spent years partying and I've spent years not partying. And it's way more fun actually to not go out to the bars. So take that advice however you want to, but you'll save a ton of money if you can avoid going out and multiple days a week or whatever your deal is. The other one I see, which I guess would be number 3, is kind of like 2 things. I mean, personal care / self-care. And this one is a little bit more like, hey, I need to, whether it be, getting things for vitamins, supplements, going down the rabbit hole of all these different things. And a lot of that stuff is super warranted and all that. But between, the marketing that I see from skincare companies, from the self-care companies, all the stuff that they're marketing to everyone, there has to be a reason. It's a pretty big industry. So it's one of those ones where I just, be wary of what you're purchasing and what you're buying. And is it really useful? Is it really not? So, definitely an opportunity for you to kind of take a look at what's good, what's not, what's working, what's not, and then don't let the mass marketing get you and grab you into buying all these things, or the algorithms that'll just kind of suck you into these sponsored ads that get you to buy. So just be careful there. Number 4 would be vacations and traveling and things like that. And this one's interesting because I've always been in the camp of traveling. Vacations is amazing. I love to do all of the above. I love vacationing, traveling, all that. But you'll see people that will basically say, hey, like we've worked really hard. We deserve this. We should get away. And my golden rule there is like, if you have any debt, if you have, no money in the bank, like if you don't have $10,000 to your name and, you're in debt still, you should not be taking vacations. You should not be going anywhere. You should be spending all your extra time finding a side hustle to make some money to get yourself out of debt. So vacations and traveling, be wary of those. And there's ways around that. There's ways to do that. There's ways to go out and travel the world and not spend a ton of money. There's ways to go, out, without having to do airplane travel, or being able to do it on the cheap and then go to a place and not stay at a resort and do stuff that's a little more local and different things like that. So there's opportunities to travel and vacation and enjoy your time somewhere else, without having to spend a ton of money. And then number 5, this one's a big one because it's probably the most interesting in recent times, which is Amazon Prime. And the reason I bring up Amazon is because it's kind of the theory of spending cash versus plastic. And this, there's been studies around this since the 80s of how your brain works when using a credit card versus using cash. And there's just something that's a little bit harder about giving away your cash and not getting it back, instead of giving away a credit card and they hand it right back. There's just something that doesn't trigger when you do that on a credit card. Amazon Prime is really the next step. So this is, going into your cart, finding some stuff, searching it, and then just, buy it now type deal. So there's no cards, there's no nothing. It's a click of a button. It's all automated. And what I would do here is really just go through your order history. Take a look at what you bought last year. How many items did you buy? And then out of those items, like, take out, the paper towels and the dish soap and all the things that you might have coming all the time. And then just look at all the dumb shit you bought on Amazon last year. So that one is, it's an interesting exercise to do, but a good opportunity for you to take a look at how that's all working. And then another one could be just do an exercise. Take a week and only use cash. Don't use cards for anything. Don't use Amazon or any of that online stuff. Just spend cash, and you'll have a different respect for what things cost. When you give away your money, you give $100 bill to someone and they don't give you all that much back. You start to figure out that there's an appreciation to what things cost and how much things cost. So that's kind of the top 5. The other couple that you could probably do other videos on would be, weddings, things like that, and extravagant weddings and all that can be a waste of money for sure. I guess, some people could say, hey, it was a great day, it was awesome, it was everything we ever wanted. And then you could ask a friend that's, been divorced, and they might have a whole other way of looking at that. So weddings, definitely be careful there. And then cars, I could do a whole other video just on cars, and new cars, used cars, buying cars. Like, car payments are pretty dumb. So those are just kind of honorable mentions, but didn't want to go super deep in the weeds in there. But hopefully this video this week will just give you the opportunity to take a look at some of the ways you're spending money, and really just for you to be more cautious about how you spend your money, and just more aware of how and where and what's going on with your money. And this really just goes for people that are complaining, for people that are like, hey, I never have any money, I never have enough money, I don't know where my money's going. Do some exercises, try to dissect some of these things out, and give yourself a timeline. 30 days, I'm not going to get coffees, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to eat out, I'm not going to go to bars, and then see how much money's left over. And it'll be pretty insane. I think you'll be happy with the results of that. So that's all I got for this week. Thank you guys for joining me here on Make Your Own Luck Mondays.